Welcome to VSP News from Kolman's Corner. I'm your host, David A. Kolman, editor of Fleet Maintenance Magazine, the only publication that's all maintenance, all vehicle classes, all the time. I recently had an opportunity to visit with noted business consultant Sylvester Stephenson. And among the many things we talked about was quality improvement within fleet maintenance organizations. Stephenson explained that there is a way to minimize the variation of work and at the same time promote the quality of work. Stephenson says this can be achieved through standard operating procedures, or SOPs for short. Now, essentially, an SOP is a set of written instructions that documents a routine or repetitive activity. The matter of SOPs came up again in an address by automotive consultant Mike Anderson of Collision Advice to the spring meeting of the Truck Frame and Axle Repair Association. Here is what Anderson has to say about the benefits of SOPs.
One of the things that I found successful during my career as a collision auto body repair shop owner in Alexandria, Virginia, was that to develop standard operating procedures so that everybody did everything the same way. And not only did they do things the same way, but it helped me to get an entry-level employee up to speed faster.
Anderson explains that establishing standard operating procedures involves these 4 steps.
Develop, train, test, and audit. Develop your SOP. Develop the way that you want things done in your business. Number 2, train your employees. Keep in mind that some people have different training methods. Some people learn by listening, which is audio. Some people learn by visual, watching, and some people are hands-on. Their learning style is kinesthetic. So once you train your employees, the 3rd step is to test them. Test them to ensure retention of what you've taught them. Some things can be accomplished through a written test. Some things, such as welding, such as painting, somebody may actually have to do a hands-on test. But the most important part of all of those is to audit. Develop, train, test, and audit. You can do the best job developing an SOP on the way you want things done. You can train your employees. They can get 100% on the test. But if you do not audit for compliancy and ensure consistency, the first 3 are a waste of time.
For a business to thrive and not just survive, it must invest in its people and their education and training. Yearly employee reviews can help with this, but most managers are afraid to use them. Collision Advice's Anderson offers some insight and advice on using this management tool.
A lot of people will tell me, Mike, I'm afraid to conduct an employee review because I'm afraid that if I have an employee review, my employees are going to ask for a raise. I can tell you that in all my years of employees, having over 50 employees over a 20-year period, I never had an employee ask for a raise. But the reason I didn't have that is because I submitted to my employees a questionnaire to fill out prior to the review. Some of the questions I would ask on there is, how often do you receive an attaboy from your immediate supervisor? How would you rate the level of training? Has Wagamore Collision Center, my former shop, that I do not own now, I own Collision Advice, but how do we fulfill our obligations in keeping our commitments and our promises to you? Then I would ask them things such as, how much would you like to make next year? But then it would be followed by the question, what are you willing to do to make that? How would you rate yourself in regards to attendance on a scale of 1 to 5? I find that if they rated themselves a 2, that sure made my job a lot easier as an employer or as a boss or as a supervisor or a manager to broach the subject with that employee without them being defensive. So I would say, for example, Dave, I see here on this employee review survey that you gave yourself a 2 on attendance. I'm glad that you rated yourself that, and then we agree. So now we can have a discussion about why your attendance is so poor or what we can do to improve that. Some of the other things I might ask my employees was, for example, what are some of the things that you feel you're weak in or you could use my coaching or my support in getting you training? Remember, your job as a manager, as an owner, is to provide your employees with the proper equipment, tools, and training they need to perform the task to your expectations.
I'm sure you'd agree that employee development is essential because when employees continue to grow their skills and knowledge, businesses thrive. But before a shop can grow its employees, it's got to find them and hire them. And that is a formidable challenge in itself. Finding quality employees is going to be the focus of our next program. Thank you for tuning into VSP News from Kolman's Corner. I'm your host, David A. Kolman, the editor of Fleet Maintenance Magazine, the only publication that is all maintenance, all vehicle classes, all the time. Until our next broadcast, you can keep up with happenings within our industry by visiting Fleet Maintenance online.